Well, good morning, everyone. It's Sunday, and my week has been thrown off by a few events. Like Friday, I had to take John to get his eye surgery on his other eye, cataract or something like that. So while I was sitting there, I was crocheting. But I can't crochet and drive at the same time, and because they give you anesthetic, not to mention your pupil is like hyper dilated, you can't drive, so I had to be the driver. But anywho, oh, what a week it's been. What a week. So I got a few things made, and I had to take time out to do some bookkeeping because, you know, quarterly taxes are due and I had to figure out how much money I had to send. And I don't know why I do this to myself. I should, as I have to purchase things, I should just go ahead and enter it in right away, but I don't. I get sidetracked, and before you know it, it's been 3 months, and then I have to go back and do 3 months of searching to make sure I have everything and get it all entered in. So that got in the way as well. And then just plain old being tired. So that happens. So last time I was saying, how could you possibly have all this yarn and not have the right colors? Well, guess what? I had to place another yarn order for some Premier because both of my Bigfoot that I showed in my last video sold. Plus I had an order for another one, which I had the yarn available for, but then I would be out of the teddy bear color, and that is a color I use quite a bit, so I had to make sure I had that. And while I was at it, I went ahead and ordered some of those colors that I need in the Premier Basics Brights, such a weird name, so that I can make some more of those Chunky Mon. So I'm waiting for that to get here, and I still have some yarn that I ordered from Joanne, and it is like just straggling in piece by piece, a skein here, a skein there. I think there's still some more of the Juicy Couture Velvet that is still on the way. I don't know. I am so confused with what I have and what I don't have from that order because of the way they ship. There's a gnat bothering me. Anyhow, when I did that order, I also ordered, and I felt confident with ordering it, even though it was Bernat. They have this new color group, I guess you would call it, called Mystical. So I felt very confident that it would be their new formula and softer and not that stickiness to where it's hard to work with. So I got a few of those in, and I think they still owe me a couple of colors on that too. I'm like, I don't know. And then you can't, when you go and you look on the website at the order, they break it up. I don't know what's going on. You pay at one time, so you think, but you don't get charged until they ship, and then it's 15 different charges for one order that you placed. It's very confusing. But so I got that in. But my big, exciting thing that I ordered in, I have been wanting to get like the table runner style banner. So I finally said I'm gonna do it. Mainly because I have so many markets lined up between now and January. I wanted to have the banner. I felt like it was worth doing it because I was successful in lining up all these markets. So it's a table runner, and I can't hold the whole thing up so that you can see. So I'm going to keep it folded. This would be the part that shows laying across the table. And I ordered it on Amazon. I expected it to be, you know, vinyl, like plastic type, but it's actually this really nice fabric. So I was pleasantly surprised when it came in. It wasn't supposed to be here until the 18th, and it came early. It's been here for a few days now. And I think the quality is just, it's really nice. This is kind of feels like a canvas. And of course, it's already got fluff on it. But I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised at how nice it turned out. And it wasn't that badly priced. I want to say, with shipping and everything, you know, when you have Prime, they say free shipping, but it's added into the price. I want to say it was $30. And it was not their smallest size, but it was the middle size. So I got that. Very excited about that. I'm about to knock stuff on the floor. So what have I been working on this week? Well, I started off with a couple of more Chunky Mon with colors that I had available. And I did a singing fairy. These Chunky Mon are by Naughty Nat on Instagram. And if this was a Pokemon instead of a Chunky Mon, it would be a Jigglypuff. And this happened to be one of the new colors that I had ordered in that Hirschner's order that I did, because they had these on sale cheaper than what I could have gotten off of Premier. Then I did one more, and this was also colors that, or a color that I had gotten in on that order. And this one is an Evolving Fox Chunky Mon. And if it was a Pokemon, it would be Eevee. I think Evie. Not sure how they pronounce it because, you know, yeah. But this one was, both of these, all of them are really cute. And I can't wait to get my other colors in so I can make a few more of these. These are super easy, and they're like 10 rounds. This one was actually 11 because you had to have an extra round to be able to put the fluff on it. But 10 rounds, I mean, super quick. This one, a little bit longer because you got to make the tail and the ear, the extra round. But all of them are so cute. And there's still quite a few more that I want to do. So this gives me 6, I think, of these. So, I told you, I sold my Bigfoot. And then I was shamed because I was supposed to make this person something a long time ago. And actually, I think we both kind of forgot about it because it was placed on the back burner. The oranges from Premier were just so bad. And the request was for orange. Well, then she saw the Bigfoot and she decided she would rather have Bigfoot than the dragon. And I'm like, well, I have that yarn. I can make it this week. So I have another Bigfoot. And this is a pattern by Lucy Ravenscar on Etsy. So this one is already spoken for. And the listing is almost up. I had to wait for the system to catch up to be able to send her the link. So now I have this teddy bear on order because I used what I had, because this takes quite a bit and more yarn. So we have Bigfoot. Then, while I was making Bigfoot, I was like, I need to look at a different color besides brown. And I was trolling Instagram. And I saw these Madeline Mako patterns, but they're not in her Etsy shop. And I'm like, how do you get these? Well, you have to join her Patreon. And I did the super fan, because the super fan, you have more things available to you. So I joined so that I can get these patterns. And I have, again, I have never ever seen this cartoon, but I know who some of the characters are. And I had to do it. I had to. So we made Oogie Boogie. So I had to talk with Jenna because like I said, I have not seen these cartoons. I need to like binge watch some cartoons so that I understand who these things are and, have a little bit of history behind it. I just have never been a cartoon person. My son ruined me from cartoons. Disney would come out with a new one. We'd get the VHS, he'd pop it in, and he'd watch it over and over and over and over. He knew 101 Dalmatians word for word. He'd have that movie in, and you could sit there and look at him, and he was mouthing every single line of the movie. I can't. I have such a hard... You've ruined me from it. And then when I was younger, my older sister always had command of the TV, and she wanted to watch like the Pink Panther, which, the little music's cute, but he didn't talk. And I couldn't, as a kid, I couldn't watch it because he couldn't talk. So to me, it was like for more of an adult cartoon where you could like see what they were doing and know what was going on instead of just this pink cat walking around, like he's Joe Cool or something. But yeah, cartoons have never been my thing. So I asked Jenna, and I'm like, she shows it in two colors. She shows it in green and she shows it in brown toffee. And she's like, well, it is just a burlap sack. It's a bag of bugs. And I'm like, okay. But there's some kind of light that makes it look green. So she suggested I do it in the green. So I did. And it's fairly easy pattern. It's fairly quick. Now, there's a lot of detail where you go in and you take your cotton or acrylic yarn and sew around the edges, and so that it looks like it's a sewn up bag. But I enjoyed making this, and it was a nice break to look at this green versus teddy bear. So after I finished this, I went back and finished Bigfoot. And then I decided I need more color in my life. So one of the other patterns that was available, if you join Madeline Mako's Patreon, is Sam. Now, I am not sure exactly where Sam is from, but I just love this thing. And it's super easy pattern to follow. Even the details I thought would be a little more challenging than what they were. Very easy. The only thing I did not put on this that's supposed to be is a string around this, like it's like a bag over his head, to where it looks like a drawstring. But the yarn will shed. So what's the point? So I think it looks fine without it. But I love this. This was great. I will probably make a couple more of these because I really enjoyed doing this one. So, and it's Parfait Chunky. I do not have orange in anything else. And I don't remember if I ordered an orange in the Premier Basics Brights. Michaels doesn't have a orange. I know I could probably get it in Bernat, but I'm so skeptical about ordering Bernat. I do have some darker colors, though, like that I use to make Bingo. It's kind of a terracotta clay color that might be able to pass for orange. I don't know. What do you think? So that I could, get it a little bit bigger. But this was a good one. I liked this one. So, still wanting a little color in my life. I think it was Friday, because I spent all that time taking John for his eye surgery. Oh, and that was so awesome. Well, a couple of things happened there. When I took him the first time, they have all these different waiting rooms. So, like, I'm in one waiting room, but when it was time for him to leave, they bring him out to a different waiting room. So I had to pack up all my stuff and rush over to where he was at. So this time I just stayed in the first waiting room because this is where they're going to bring him out at instead of the other. So I kind of let him go off on his own for that. But this time he came walking out instead of being pushed out in a wheelchair, so they didn't dope him up as much. But while I was sitting there, I was working on the third market bag for John's sister's order. And, I'm just sitting there and I'm doing the mesh part. And then I sat my stuff down and it's like this. What I do is when I'm doing the mesh, every time I turn to make a new row, I put a stitch marker on it to use like as a row counter because it's confusing. The row starts with a loop, but it ends with a single crochet, and then the next one starts. So it makes it hard, and not hard, but confusing to count your rows to see where you're at. So I just hook a stitch marker on it. So I got my little box of stitch markers sitting on the table next to me. And then I needed to use the restroom. So I sat my stuff down, and I was the only person in the waiting room. I was the only one there. So I felt very confident about just leaving it sitting there. So I walked to the restroom. By the time I came back, this older woman was sitting in the chair on the other side of the table. My box of stitch markers is now closed and moved over to her side of the table. I'm like, oh, no. Don't be messing with my stuff. So I just kind of looked at her and picked it up and put it back over on my side of the table, open so that I can get to my stitch markers. I was like, how rude. Was she going to try and take my box of stitch markers or what, I was like, I was the only one there, and then I'm not. But I got a good part of that done, and it is still in its little bag. I haven't picked it back up since I've been home. So after messing with that on Friday, and then I came home and did my button orders that I needed to do. And I made another banana. But I had a tiny little bit of the Sweet Snuggles Light yellow left. And I just barely had enough to make this. I must have like this much left over. I was playing yarn chicken, but I won. So I tried it because I wanted to see the size difference, because in Parfait Chunky, mine come out very small. So that's the size difference. So I think if these sell and I decide to make more bananas, I will be using Michaels, because that's like huge, big difference for the same amount of work. You might be talking $4 or $5 price difference for the same amount of work. A little more stuffing, but the same amount of work. So I made one banana. And then Saturday came along. And it was one of those kind of days where you want to make something, but you don't know what you want to make. And it's hard to get motivated. So I went back in and was looking at the patterns that I was able to get from joining Madeline Mako's Patreon. And from that same cartoon as Oogie Boogie, we have 0. So I made just one of these. I might make a couple more. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I know it's a popular show, but again, I don't want to get in trouble for selling copyright stuff either. But it's cute. And that's why you have to get the patterns on off her Patreon, because on Etsy she would probably get kicked off or her listings removed, and you don't want to take that kind of chance. But yeah, so we have 0. And I had to look the names up. I don't know these, the names of all the characters. But there's also Jack and there's Sally, which I haven't made either one of those yet. I definitely want to do the Jack. It looks really cool. Sally, she's got one of them checkered plaid dresses on. Which means there's a lot of ends, you know, with this plush yarn. You know how that goes. Oh, I was telling you. Yeah, so we left the doctor's office and we're driving home. Well, this time, because I didn't drug him up as much, he was actually hungry, because you're not allowed to eat or drink before you go, and thirsty. So we went through Chick-fil-A and we got some chicken sandwiches. Mainly the drink is what I wanted. So we waited till we got home to eat. But as soon as we turned on my street, there is this sign. It says, Spectrum coming soon. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so excited. For those of you who don't know what Spectrum is, it is high-speed internet. I have got awful internet here. Awful. If it rains, I have nothing because it's satellite. Or I could go through the phone line and have a high speed of a 5. Doesn't work, especially when everything is done off of the internet line. Like if you want to watch TV, it's through internet. If you want to do anything, it's through the internet. Like Jenna has her classes. Some of them are still distance learning, and she needs a good, reliable internet for that. So I switched from CenturyLink with the high speed of a 5, which was the only thing available when we first moved here, to, I tried Viastat, but they seriously limit your usage for the price that they give. And then they don't cut you off, but you're like not a priority and you might be bumped down to a speed of a 1. Hello, no thank you. But even that, for their price, I think it was like $90 a month. You only got speeds of like 25. So when Starlink became available, I signed up for that, paid in advance $500 to get the satellite, waited a year, finally got it. Now I've had it for, I want to say 2 years. We went from the price of $99 to $110 to $120. It's about time for old Elon to raise the price again, and it's not worth it. I'm supposed to be getting speeds between 100 and 200. Doesn't happen. And when you get cloud cover or rain or anything like that, you lose internet. It's better than it was with CenturyLink, but it's still not optimal. It's just not a good service. So when I saw this sign, I was like, oh my gosh, my area is actually moving up in the world. I am so excited. I cannot wait to be able to have that service. And I know some people out there do not like Spectrum. You know, we never like what we have. We always want something better. But this will be like the golden ticket of internet for people in my area. I absolutely cannot wait. I want to be on the list. I want to be one of the first to get it. I can't wait. I'm so excited. That just You have no idea how excited I am about this. Like, we'll have real TV again. You don't understand. But that was like the best news I could have seen. Just absolutely. Other than if they came through and actually gave us city water and city plumbing, that would be another nice thing, but I won't hold my breath on that. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, Saturday. When I got up, I knew I needed to make some stuff because I hadn't been very productive at all, in my opinion. And I didn't know what I wanted to make. So I decided I'm going to make another Oogie Boogie, but do it in teddy bears so that it looks like the burlap. This is the two of them. They're, of course, a little bit different. Each of them, you know, like the mouth is different. And I actually did this one twice, and then I was just like, I'm going with it. What I did a little different on this is before I sewed these arms on, I went ahead and did the stitching around it. It was easier than doing it after the fact. I should have also done it with the legs, but you don't pinch the feet up. Well, I guess that really wouldn't matter. I could do the stitching on the legs before they're attached. So if I make another one, I'll try that. But, hello?
It's me. I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
That I'm home.
Okay.
And you're not like, who's out there?
And I would have been too. So I'm not sure which one I like better. I think I like the green just because it's color. But I also like this because I don't know. But I made two of these. One yesterday and one before. And I made that, and then I decided I have got to take a nap. So I laid down and I took about a 3-hour nap. And I shouldn't have, but I've just been like wore out. And I've also decided that I have made a huge mistake. Really huge. So when we make these things, before we store them away, that's when we should price them. When you just have a few and then you're putting them away. Instead of like what I'm going to have to go through now, where almost nothing has a price sticker on it. Some does because being at other markets, but almost nothing has price stickers on it. And I'm going to have to put price stickers on just about everything. I am not happy about that. So that's two huge mistakes that I came to the realization of yesterday. The bookkeeping and pricing. So, it's going to be such a job. So after my nap, which I woke up about 8 p.m., and that meant I stayed up really late. So I'm kind of dragging a little today, getting a late start on this. I was like, what do I want to make? I didn't want to do anything real involved. I want to do some quick and easy stuff. And I keep telling myself, oh, you need to make some more birds, some mini birds. And I'm like, I don't want to make mini birds. You need to make some more this. And I'm like, I don't want to make that. Like, I don't know what I want to do. So I decided to do some loaf cats and test out the new Bernat Mystical. And this one is Canyon. The other color is Clay. When I ordered, I kind of thought they were more on the brownish side than what they are, but they're not. So we did 2 loaf caps using that Canyon color, Canyon color. And this was really nice to work with. I did not struggle with it at all. So it was definitely assuming it would be the new formula because it's a new line for them, the Mystical. It definitely is. This was a lot softer. And I used a 6mm hook with these. So they turned out still kind of small, but way bigger than the Parfait Chunky. These would be, if you're a Bernat user, this would be like a mini loaf cat. So, and this pattern is from Mag's Masterpiece off of Instagram. So I have two like that. Then the other color that came in, and like I said, I'm waiting on a couple of colors, is Clay, which kind of looks reddish pink, kind of, I think. So we got two of these. And instead of just putting the X for the nose and the mouth, I did it a little bit different. I saw a picture of somebody doing it like that, and I'm like, I think I kind of like that. So gave it a try. And then I had a little piece of this other Bernat, like a tan-ish color. And it's a little bit bigger. I still used the 6mm hook, but this was not as soft as this. This was nice and, actually, this one was nice and soft. This was a little bit rougher. This is not as rough as like the old sticky feeling Bernat, but compared to this was hard to do. And this was the last one that I did. Thank goodness, because it might have, had I done it earlier than these others, it might have been my last one. So I had 5 little mini loaf cats, and that's what I made. That's it. So Bigfoot will be heading off in the mail very soon. Not sure if I'm going to have time to make one before my September market, but I will definitely try to get another one made for my October market. Because I have a lot more time for that. And that's it. Okay, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. That is all I have to share today. And I'm going to go do some button orders. So I will see you in the next video.